Hello and welcome to the Daily Red, your lunchtime catch-up on all things Liverpool FC, on a Thursday on which Liverpool will take on Manchester City in the League Cup. The Reds against City at the Etihad in front of what I'm sure will be a packed crowd or a half-empty stadium. It is City after all. This is our first game back after the World Cup, obviously, and it will be, I suppose, good to see them back. Although if they come back with the same attitude and lack of intensity and desire as they did before they went away, well, then they can just stay away. We beat Derby in the last round on penalties. We played a very, very weak team, in fairness, mostly kids. City, for their part, they played Chelsea and beat them 2-0. They played quite a strong team on the night. It is likely that we will have more senior players available than they will, but I'm curious to see what kind of teams they put out. And obviously what kind of team we put out. I mean, there's no reason that Trent and Fabinho couldn't start this game. Neither of them played a whole lot in the World Cup. Joel and Joe, you'd imagine, start centre-back. Robbo will start left-back. Kelleher will be in goal. Either side of Fabinho, you'd hope to see Naby and Thiago. It may be Harvey and Thiago. And up front, Salah, Darwin, Bobby through the middle, it would be, in fairness, with that three. The other option would be Salah and Carvalho either side of Darwin. It wouldn't be a surprise, though, if James Milner starts at right back because, reasons. The hope would be we put out a strong team because you never want to lose to that lot. And if we beat them, I think we'd have to be considered favourites to retain the competition. Because when you look at the other teams that have gone through, Leicester, we should beat them. Wolves, we should beat them. Southampton, we should beat them. Forest, we should beat. Charlton, we should beat. United, we should beat. Newcastle would be the toughest team left. And again, they're a team we can beat. So I'd kind of be in favour of going strong tonight and looking to win this competition. You'd be into the quarterfinals. So you just got quarter, semi, and final. It would be, I suppose, sensible. You can bin the FA Cup off. Just go out in the third round so you're not packing up more fixtures into the schedule. Just play a really weak team. You're playing Premier League opposition in the FA Cup. I know it is a home game, and I think for that reason, they'll probably take it quite seriously, but play a weakened team against Wolves and just go out wouldn't make much of a difference to anybody. Just kind of feel like when you're at this point in this competition, you might as well try and win it, especially if you can knock City out as well and just keep Pep from getting his bold little hands on another trophy. To go around the main Liverpool sites, this is Anfield lead with story and pictures regarding the club's annual visit to Alderhay Hospital. It's always a really nice thing, and that's always well worth reading. There is 10 key things to know ahead of tonight's game. The first one is that the game would go straight to penalties if needed. There'll be no extra time. And obviously, Caoimhín Kelleher is very, very strong when it comes to penalty shootouts. Pep Guardiola says he'll only have 4 or 5 senior players available. De Bruyne, Haaland, Gundogan, and Mahrez. The suggested City team here is Ortega, Lewis, Akanji, Ake, Gomez. I'd be surprised if Ake starts. I would, because the Dutch went quite far. Rodri, again, I'd be surprised if he starts. De Bruyne, Gundogan, they both went out in the group stage, so they might as well start. Mahrez, Haaland, and Palmer. I think you might see Calvin Phillips start in midfield instead of Rodri. That would be my guess. Um, that defense can be got at without question. CEOs unite to eliminate unacceptable behavior. The CEOs of Manchester City and Liverpool have written to fans to help eliminate unacceptable behavior. As a piece here about how the squad is shaping up. Henderson, Alexander-Arnold, Alisson and Fabinho back in training. Van Dijk has been given an extended break, while Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota and Arthur continue to rehab from their respective injuries. Curtis Jones is about a week away from returning to training. That's getting concerning now at this point. If that's still the same injury that's cost him most of this season, that's getting concerning. Cade Gordon is making positive steps in his recovery and should be back playing within a couple of months. Third meeting in 5 months. We won the Community Shield and then the league. Of course, the issue here is we won both of those games and then we were garbage immediately afterwards. So maybe we should lose. Who could be in the Reds 11? Kelleher, Milner at right back. Yuck. Matip, Gomez, Robertson, Bisetic. I mean, there's no reason Fabinho couldn't start. None. And if he's going to start on Boxing Day, he should be starting tonight because Fab is always poor in his first game back from a break. Elliott, Thiago, Salah, Nunez, and Firmino. Pep and Linders did the press conference and he said, yesterday we trained, the session was insane, it was really cool, and I walked off the pitch with Jurgen. He stands next to me and whispers, wow, Stefan and Bobby Clark, they play so mature, they play like they're 25. And I say immediately, Ben Doak, can you imagine if he was a signing? If he would do what he's doing in the session? Okay. Did you know Mohamed Salah could become the first Liverpool player ever to score against Manchester City in 3 different competitions in the same season? David Coote, who's awful, will be the referee, and you can follow along with the match on This Is Anfield's live blog. They have a kind of their version of a media digest piece up as well, which has some news about Cade Gordon and Curtis Jones, hopefully being back, on the pitch quite soon. The Reds' return is just a day away. Enzo Fernandez is still the talk of the town. Claims of Liverpool's interest and Fernandez making Anfield his priority are rife in the Portuguese press, with Portuguese journalist Pedro Sepulveda has stated that any reports are completely false. This is the same guy that said that there was no chance Luis Diaz was leaving Porto in the January of last season. So, I'd pay about as much attention to him as I would to Ben Jacobs. Linders even name-checked the midfielder twice during his press conference as he spoke enthusiastically over Argentina's World Cup win. Fernandez continues to soak up celebrations following Sunday's triumph. Other things you should know. Sepp Vandenberg has opened up on how he lost all the muscle strength in his left leg after a nasty injury while on loan at Schalke. Give that one a read. There's a bit about Lucas having go to journalists. I mentioned that yesterday. Emi Martinez is set to be absent from Liverpool's Boxing Day clash with Villa because he's getting an extended break. It's because he's still going to be drunk is the real reason. That's the be-all and end-all. All of those Argentine players are likely to be drunk till about June. Liverpool.com, the main piece, Liverpool have league's best finisher. I mean, statistically, Bobby, I think, has been the league's best finisher this season, but nobody would mistake Bobby for a particularly good finisher. Man City should provide perfect opportunity for Jurgen Klopp's most unlucky star. That is about Joe Gomez. There's the piece about Kevin Kelleher. There's the piece I referenced yesterday about Makoko. Liverpool must win transfer race for new Philippe Coutinho and Gabriel Martinelli wonderkid. This is about Andre Santos of Vasco da Gama. Very talented player. Does look like he's maybe on his way to Chelsea. Newcastle thought they had him wrapped up, but it looks like Chelsea are now favourites. I haven't really heard us mentioned all that often for him. He's a talented midfielder, but I mean, I wouldn't be saying we have to win the race for him. He's done okay in his first season in the Brazilian Serie B, but I wouldn't say we need to be pushing the boat out when we have far bigger needs right now. Liverpool can avoid repeat of 190 million transfer pain as Enzo Fernandez lesson should trigger bid. That is about Enzo Fernandez. There is a media digest piece here. Let's see what we've got. Premier League transfer interest. Lille Abada of Celtic. He's talented. He definitely is talented. I don't know if he's ready to play for us, but he has spoken in the past about how that will be his dream move. Liverpool target unsellable. That's about Sofian Amrabat. Again, I've said before, I don't actually think we're interested in him. Benfica reject Fernandez bid. Who the bid was from, I have no idea. Was there a bid? I have no idea. It may just be media nonsense. AnfieldIndex.com, we have a new piece up called Stefan Bajcetic Big Breakthrough Chance, written by David Davis. There is also a new Pro Plus podcast, also with David Davis and Young Downey. And obviously, as I mentioned yesterday, there is the new Scouser Tommy, so do listen to that. There's a new podcast to come in January that's going to be through the month of January, and then we'll see. It is basically we're going to look at the January transfer window and just talk about the club. Now, it's me and somebody else, and I can't yet say who it is. I don't think we're actually going to even leak who it is until the day of, until it actually comes out. But I would say people probably won't expect me and this person to be on a podcast together, given the last 8 years or so. So it should be interesting. Yeah, that's all I can really say. So yeah, I might as well just leave it there. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.